Bear with me, folks, on Facebook. All right, so it's weird. Yesterday I couldn't get Periscope to work, and today I'm getting Periscope to work. So go figure, right? So there's a couple things in the news today that I'm interested in. Give me just a minute. I'm going to go live on Instagram while we're here. May as well, right? Hey, Kristen, how's it going? I'm doing a Quadcast, okay? I've never done a Quadcast before. I've done a TriCast. I've never done a Quadcast. Let me explain. I've got a computer and I'm running Wirecast. Hey, I am Simon Miller on Instagram. So this Quadcast is Periscope, Instagram Live, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live. So let me explain what I've got, and then I'll talk about the little bit of news that I've got to talk about today. First, I have Wirecast 7 on a laptop that I'm using. And the lower thirds that you see, if you're on any platform other than Instagram Live, the lower thirds that you see, I created in Photoshop. And I uploaded it into Wirecast, and I can change the number at the end. I did number 1 yesterday, number 2 is today. And I can change that in Adobe very easily. And upload it into Wirecast. Yesterday I couldn't get Periscope to work, but I could get YouTube Live and Facebook Live to work, and it's awesome. Okay, so I'm broadcasting to 4 different places right now. Folks on Periscope, thank you for joining me. So I'm broadcasting to 4 places right now, and it's a lot of fun. It's been a lot of hard work trying to figure this out, but Wirecast goes into a service called Joycaster, and you can go to joycaster.co, and you can look and see what Joycaster does. And basically it operates as a cloud for your signal. So if I were running, and I can run Wirecast and send my signal to all these places out of my computer, but what happens is I have to send a separate signal to Facebook and a separate signal to Periscope and a separate signal to YouTube, and that really taxes your system. It makes it so you're going to have a lot of problems, and the broadcast isn't really going to be that great. So what you do is you send your signal to Joycaster, which is a kind of a cloud-based service, and so they take your signal and send it everywhere else. So I'm only sending one signal, and that's to Joycaster. And then Joycaster breaks it up and sends it to the various places. Now, Instagram, I'm not sending my signal to Instagram. I can't send my signal to Instagram. Hey, Jenny, how you doing? I have Instagram on an iPad on a tripod pointed at me. So welcome, 123 Market the Net, since it's your first day on Periscope. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about, and I'm trying to get good at this. This has been kind of a tricky thing, but I am trying to, in fact, I forgot to set my screen capture on Wirecast, so I'm going to have to do that really quickly. But what I'm trying to do is talk to you guys on a daily basis about what's going on in the news. And forgive me for not looking at the camera while I'm doing this. I'm trying to get my screen up here so that I can show you what I want to show you that's in the news. It's not a big deal. I could probably talk about it without showing it to you, quite honestly. But let's see here. Here we go. But I think it's kind of neat to show you if I can. Because here we go. All right, cool. Here we go. All right, so if you are on anything other than Instagram Live, you're going to be able to see this. And you're going to see it here in just a moment on all the platforms. I've just sent it over. But anyway, YouTube launches a paid Super Chat feature, okay? What the Super Chat feature is kind of still a mystery, but I mean, mainly because I can't see it working and I haven't seen it yet, anybody using it. But what it allows you to do, what this article tells you it allows you to do is, let's say somebody like Gary Vaynerchuk does a broadcast, okay? Gary Vaynerchuk does a broadcast on his YouTube. He's going to have maybe not hundreds of thousands, but he's going to have tens of thousands of people watching his broadcast on YouTube Live, okay? There's going to be commenting available to that, to his broadcast. So he can see the commenting, but so can other people apparently. They can see the commenting as well, okay? So you can pay money to YouTube. And I don't know if they split the commission with Gary Vaynerchuk or not. I imagine that they would. But you can pay money to boost your comment to the top of the commenting, and I think it's highlighted and it's prominent. So let's say that I want to go and I want to get in front of Gary Vaynerchuk's audience and I want to promote Todd.LIVE in some fashion or another. Now, I wouldn't go over there and like do a promotion and maybe write out a comment that has my web address in it. That would probably be kind of tacky and spammy. Thanks for the love, whoever's dishing it out on Periscope. But what it would allow me to do is if I want to go and contribute to Gary Vaynerchuk, and here's how I would do it if I did it. I would contribute to Gary Vaynerchuk's, to whatever it is he's talking about that day. I would want to contribute something of interest that had to do, it was relevant to what he was talking about, to give me a reason to comment in the first place. But then I might pay to boost it. And then people are like, well, hey, who is Todd.LIVE? I like what he just said. Maybe I'll check out what Todd.LIVE is all about. Maybe I'll follow him or I'll subscribe to his channel. So you just don't know, what you're going to be able to do with it yet, because one, I think it's available, but it's probably only a few accounts that have it right now. And you'd have to seek out those accounts, find the people that are using that, YouTube Live and where they've got the super chat feature enabled, to see how it truly works. But it's going to be a way for people to get in front of, audiences of other people. Maybe you want Gary Vaynerchuk to notice you, or maybe you want one of the 10,000 people watching his video to notice you. I don't know, probably both, right? So that would be the point of it. So that's something that's coming at some point in the future, if it's not already there for the people who have YouTube Live, which if you watched my broadcast yesterday, you would know that you do not have YouTube Live right now unless you have a channel that has more than 10,000 subscribers. I have a friend of mine, Reezy Resells. He has more than 10,000 subscribers. He sent me a screenshot. He does have YouTube Live. I don't even think he's using it yet, which is shocking, because normally he likes to use things immediately. And if he doesn't get it right at the beginning, then he freaks. And, the fact that he doesn't have it, or that he does have it, probably means it's like he doesn't care. If he didn't have it, he'd be freaking out. If Daddy has it, he's really like, I'll get to it. Okay, so, let's see here. Next story that I was going to talk about. This is really not that newsworthy, I don't think. But let's see here if I. Oh man, yeah. Here we go. You're going to see it now in a moment if you're on any of my broadcasts that's getting my Wirecast feed. Look, Twitter says that product changes are the main growth driver, not just the president's usage. President Trump. He's, hey Bree, how you doing? He's talking, and Bree, just so you know, since you just joined me, I'm doing a quadcast. I've done a tricast before. This is the first quadcast. I've got Periscope Live or Periscope. I've got Facebook Live. I've got YouTube Live, and I've got Instagram. The downside of Instagram is it's the only platform that I'm broadcasting to right now where you're not seeing the entire broadcast, because I'm doing it through Wirecast and I'm sending out with lower thirds and images and things. I can't do that with Instagram. So on Instagram, it's just an iPad pointed at me. But anyway, so Twitter says that product changes are the main growth driver and not just the president's usage. So there's a little bit of concession there that, look, this has to do with Twitter's growth can be to blame some for the president's usage. He likes to use Twitter. A lot of people are annoyed that he does. I think he's poking at people by doing it, poking at the people that hate him, because they hate it. If they can't dictate how people act, they just get irate and butt hurt. And every day he's threading a needle right up their asses by tweeting, and he knows it, because they're not able to dictate that he stops using Twitter. Okay. You know, you can say a lot of things about Donald Trump, love or hate. It's non-political. The point is that he likes to do things. He's not going to let the people who are accustomed to dictating how people behave, that is the left, Democrats, they like to dictate how people behave. They like to tell you, you can't say that. It's not politically correct. It's going to insult someone. It's going to offend somebody. They like to do that, okay? Donald Trump's not going to play into that. Those people that have their ways of forcing you how to behave and how to speak about things are not getting through to Donald Trump, and it's driving him nuts, and I think he likes to do it. So Twitter says that their current growth has very little to do with Donald Trump. I call bullshit on that. Twitter's been in a tailspin for a long time, and they ought to be happy. And this, again, this isn't a pro-Trump thing. It's because I'm not. I mean, you know, I'm a very anti-liberal, but that doesn't mean I'm pro-Trump. But what I'm saying is that, look, Donald Trump is a godsend to Twitter. He has Twitter in the news constantly because he's tweeting. The people at Twitter don't want to admit that. That's fine, okay? If you've got half a brain, you realize that, look, at these people, they really don't want to give Donald Trump the credit. They probably don't like Donald Trump. Their political persuasion probably dictates that they hate Donald Trump. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just putting, you know, throwing a theory out there. But the fact is that they said that their growth has to do with new products, not just Donald Trump. So they're conceding that Donald Trump has something to do with it, but not everything to do with it. I call bullshit. Okay, I think I'm not going to say that Donald Trump has everything to do with it, but look, like I said, Twitter's been in a tailspin for a long time. Everyone that's paying attention knows that, and Donald Trump won the election because he's in the news constantly, and because he tweets constantly, Twitter's in the news constantly. It's a big deal for Twitter, believe me, whether they want to admit it or not. Okay, so let's talk about Instagram versus Snapchat. This goes on forever, and it's never going to end until one of them dies. And if neither one of them dies, then it's just going to go on forever anyway, because it sells stories and it sells advertising and people like to talk about it. Okay. Instagram stories now has, according to, Techie Upgrader, and I think he's quoting somebody else. I think this is kind of a spin-off website where they take information from a bigger website like TechCrunch and they just spin the content and spit it out. But it just happened to come across my news feed, so I thought I would share it with you. Instagram Stories now has as many users as Snapchat, which is interesting. I found another article that's kind of the same thing. It's really hokey with the stupid image. But will Instagram Stories kill Snapchat? It's just constantly being talked about, right? Will Instagram Stories kill Snapchat? And for those of you who are choosing to join me on Instagram Live, I'm doing a quadcast. My signal is going from my computer to Periscope, to Facebook Live, and to YouTube. It's not going to Instagram because Instagram hasn't opened up their API, so I have to do that on an iPad. But I've got four venues that this broadcast is going to, and I'm about finishing up here. But thank you for joining me. Will Instagram Stories kill Snapchat? Okay, what I think is interesting about this article that I'm showing you, if you're watching on any platform other than Instagram, is that there's this graph here, and I think they pulled it from TechCrunch. Yes, image by TechCrunch. And it takes a moment. There's a little bit of lag in the broadcast, but you guys will see it in just a moment if you're watching on Periscope, Instagram, or I'm sorry, Periscope, Facebook, or YouTube. I always forget that YouTube. I'm sending my signal to YouTube. Okay, so look, there's a steady growth. This graph is showing from first quarter of 2014 through fourth quarter of 2016. Steady growth, okay? Very steady growth. We're at 158 million, I believe. Yeah, 158 million quarterly daily active users. So 158 million daily active users, or quarterly daily. I don't know what that exactly means. The way they do graphs, if it's not clear, I don't know. Tell me if that's clear or not. Leave me a comment. Quarterly average. Okay, average daily active users. 158 million average daily active users. In third quarter of 2016, it's 153. So it jumped 5 million daily active users between third quarter and fourth quarter of 2016. Okay. That's good growth. Okay. It's not quite as high as their growth, say, in first quarter of 2014 to second quarter of 2014, where you had 13 million growth, average daily in growth, 13 million people. Let's see, fourth quarter of 2015 to first quarter of 2016, they had 15 million growth. So there is maybe some plateauing happening. They're still growing. What I think is interesting is that Instagram and YouTube have just been doing everything they can to slam Snapchat in every way imaginable. And, they're doing a good job at it. There's no doubt about it. And there's a lot of people out there who were huge Snapchat evangelists who aren't huge Snapchat evangelists anymore. They're kind of in I'm going to wait and see mode, and for good reason. Okay. The spectacles were kind of a bust. I mean, I like them, but I paid too much for them. I don't use them nearly enough for what I paid for them. The problem is that they're just hard to get the information from the spectacles over to the phone. It's too much trouble. Okay. So that's, in my opinion, the big drawback. Otherwise, they're fabulous. Okay. Spectacles are fabulous. But that was, and they haven't mass produced them. So they're still hard for people to get. People are still having to pay a premium. It might not be a heavy premium, but people are still having to pay a premium. Okay. So, that's a problem. They should have these in every Snapchatter's hand. That would change things dramatically for Snapchat. Wouldn't anybody agree? I would. The other thing that's having a problem for Snapchat is they don't have a live feature yet. Where's the live feature? Okay. Get your asses in gear at Snapchat. I know Snapchat people aren't going to watch my broadcast. I wish they did. I do very heavy Snapchatting. I love Snapchat. I do like Instagram stories as well, but I tend to create my content as much as I can in Snapchat, send it to my camera roll, and then import it into Instagram. Because I like the Bitmoji. I like the filters. There's things that I hate the lenses. I don't use lenses at all the facial recognition crap. I hate all that. I hate it. So that doesn't play for me anyway. But where is the where in Snapchat is the live feature? When are we going to get that? I mean, come on, we need it. We want it. The other thing in Snapchat that Instagram has is hands-free snapping. When I'm in Instagram and I'm doing a story, I can push the button, I can select hands-free, and I can let go of my phone and record. Snapchat doesn't have it. I mean, talk about a fuck up, and excuse my language, but seriously, if you are at Snapchat and you haven't figured out that you need I was trying to figure out what was making that noise. My cord is rubbing up against the bottom of my microphone. I kept thinking it was my chair, and I keep trying to adjust myself so that whatever it was would quit squeaking, and my cord on the bottom of the microphone was going back and forth as I'm talking and making it sounded like a violin. This little kind of back and forth. Sorry about that. Hands-free. Where are you, Snapchat, on the hands-free? I'm telling you, that will solve a lot of problems. Right now, I have to use this remote control, this Bluetooth remote control, and the latest updates with Apple require me to go into my settings and find the device every single time. Okay? It used to be with the old software with Apple, like 6 months ago, before there were a few updates, I would be able to turn the device on and it would work with Snapchat every time. So it was like super fast, no thought. So now I have to go into the settings. I have to find the device, and it never finds it the first time, and it always takes 5 damn minutes to find the device. I get the little pinwheel spinning around, and I'm sitting there waiting just to do hands-free. And then it doesn't give it to me. It says it couldn't find the device. Then I have to try it again, and it always finds it on the second find, okay? But it doesn't find it on the first find. And it's a pain in the ass, to say the least. Where's that feature? Hands-free Snapchat. We need a live feature. We need a hands-free. We need spectacles in mass production, even if you don't have them like a version 2 where it's not such a problem to upload the snaps from the phone from the glasses into the phone. You got to stand there and wait for all that to happen. That would be nice, right? And or maybe a USB cord that plugs into the side of the goggles and zaps them right into your Snapchat. Beautiful, right? It plugs right in the bottom of your iPhone or your Android. That would be beautiful. Where is that? I mean, these are things that can make Snapchat pop really fast. They're not doing it. Some of these things could be done like that. They could have hands-free instantly. Okay, they could put their team on it. They could knock that out in a week or two, and boom, it's done. It's out there. Hands-free snapping. Big news. You got an IPO coming. I mean, maybe all this stuff's going to happen. Maybe they're saving all this stuff for the IPO, right before the IPO. They're going to drop all this stuff. Now, that could be beautiful. That could help them with their IPO that's coming up. That could also be a nightmare if any of it is wrong and doesn't work as the way it should, or it's only being released to their heavy hitters first, which maybe I should be, maybe not. I don't know. I have 2 accounts, and the one I'm using now is a new account, the Todd.LIVE. If you want to find me, go to Todd.LIVE on Snapchat, and you'll find me. I snap heavily there. My old account I've used for a year, and I've got huge viewership there, but it's not under Todd.LIVE, and I can't change that name once it's established. So I had to give that account up and give a year's up worth of people following me and camaraderie. But I'm sending people over from my other account. Every day I snap a picture and tell people to go over. Whoever's joining me on Instagram, thanks for joining me. So anyway, yeah, so Snapchat versus Instagram. If Snapchat doesn't get their butt in gear, they're going to lose against Instagram and Facebook, period. And they may even do that anyway. I mean, in the long run, that may happen anyway. But you know what? Fight the good fight. Let's do it. Fight the good fight. They're not fighting the good fight. There's nothing happening at Snapchat. There's nothing happening. Win something. Give us something. Give us something to be excited about. So anyway, that's it for today. Live video in the news, number 2. We talked about YouTube SuperChat. We talked about Twitter denying that President Trump has much to do with the growth of Twitter or Twitter's success in the most recent months. They're saying it has to do with software updates and all that, despite the fact that they've been in this huge tailspin for years, just hurling towards Earth, and it's ugly. And they're saying that Trump doesn't have anything much to do with any positive things going on at Twitter. I call nonsense on that. Twitter's in the news constantly because of Donald Trump, which gives it relevance. So they can deny it all they want. We all know that they have a mission. And then, of course, the Instagram versus Snapchat talk and why Snapchat might be losing some ground and some things that Snapchat could do to gain some ground or even just kill it. I mean, I think they could just kill it, okay? The millennials aren't on Instagram stories the same way they are on Snapchat, okay? Everyone's talking about they've got to get in front of the millennials. The millennials are in marketing are kind of like soccer moms in voting. I mean, every year they say you got to get soccer moms, you got to get Ohio, and you got to get you can't win without Ohio. You can't win without Ohio. You can't win without soccer moms. I call horse shit on all that, but they a lot of marketers say that you can't do it unless you're marketing to millennials. Well, that may or may not be true. I tend to think that it's not entirely true, but if it is true, Snapchat's where they're at, folks. Snapchat's where they're at. I mean, Snapchat musically, they're really not on Instagram and Facebook quite to the extent that they're on some of these other platforms. So, not that they're not there, they are, but not to the extent. So, until Instagram and Facebook solves that riddle, I think that Snapchat is going to remain a player. So, but they've got to get their butts in gear and give us something to go on. Especially with this IPO coming up. Okay, so with all that, look, I'm going to close it out. We've talked about the news for today that I saw that I thought might be interesting for you guys. Just a reminder, I am doing a Quadcast. For those of you watching on Instagram, you are not getting the benefit of the Quadcast with the lower thirds and the screenshots of the news that I'm talking about because the API is not opened up on Instagram, so I can't send my signal to Instagram. I am sending one signal from my computer, from a camcorder, a high-definition camcorder I have. I'm sending that signal through my computer up to Joycaster, which is a service out there. I think it's called Switchboard now. It's a cloud service, and they basically take your signal and send it everywhere else so that your home system or your business, your office, wherever you're broadcasting out of, isn't taxed sending a signal to all these different places. So you send one signal to Joycaster, and Joycaster sends it. I've got Periscope over here on my right. They get the benefit of the professional broadcast. I have Facebook Live getting the benefit of it, and then I have YouTube. So if you want to see the professional broadcast, I'm going to be trying to do these on a daily basis. We're going to see how it goes. And you want to see the professional broadcast, and you want to see the lower thirds and the screenshots and whatever it is I'm going to be showing you guys, you need to follow me on Periscope. It's real easy. It's Todd Bergin, Bergin. You can follow me on Facebook Live. It's Todd.LIVE page, TODDOTLIVE page, PAGE. You can follow me on Facebook. You'll get the broadcast there. You can follow my YouTube channel. Just go in and search for Todd Bergen, just like you would at Periscope. You can follow me on all of them if you want to give me a nice present today. And even if you want to give me like a really good present, share, comment, like, whatever. You know, I reach out to everybody who reaches out to me. I don't leave anybody hanging. So if you have a question about what I talked about today, if there's anything you want to talk about, anything you want to ask about, whether it has to do with what I talked about today, thanks for the love on Instagram. Whatever it has to do with, feel free to reach out to me on any of these platforms. I'm very responsive to the people that choose to consume my content. It's part of my mission is to be available to you guys as best as I can be 24/7. So I'm always around. I always have my phone with me. I always have an iPad connected to the internet. I'm always around. I'm an easy guy to track down. So listen, thank you for tuning in today on Instagram Live. I really appreciate it. Instagram Live is a very tough nut to crack as far as the live goes. You know, Gary Vaynerchuk goes live. He's got 1 million followers and he's got, you know, he'll have 1,000, 2,000 people watching his broadcast, but he's got 1 million followers. Well, I have 2,000 followers. So if I have the same percentage of followers that are following my account, tune into my Instagram Live, I'm lucky to have 2 or 3 people. And right now I have 2 or 3 people. So I'm very happy. Thank you for being with me. For those who are watching on Periscope or watching it on the replay or who joined me during the broadcast, thank you for joining me. Facebook Live as well, and YouTube. I'm trying to work on my YouTube channel. So Todd Bergen over at YouTube, reach out, like, subscribe, share, whatever, comment. I will respond to you. Thank you so much. I'm forever grateful to have you with me today. Stay productive in whatever endeavors you are doing and always be uploading. This is going to be a new mantra of mine. Always be uploading. Okay, pictures, video, comments, whatever. If you're not uploading, then you know what? You got to be uploading. I got to think of a finish for that, right? Kind of a punch. If you're not uploading, you know, you're sucking at life. I think that's not quite accurate, so I wouldn't say you're sucking at life. But maybe leave me a comment. Tell me, if you're not uploading, what? If you're not uploading. But if you're not uploading, you're not making it happen. Maybe that's what I say. If you're not uploading, you're not making it happen. Always. I came across this bit of wisdom the other day about the power of uploading, and you got to be uploading, and I'm fully taking that on. I'm going to try to broadcast every day on all these platforms, lots of Instagram stories, lots of Instagram live, all that. So thank you for joining me. Yes, if you're not uploading, no one is, very good. No one is connecting, or you're not connecting. That's going to be what I say. If you're not uploading, you're not connecting. Solved. You just tuned me into it. I give you partial credit because you got me in the direction. If you're not uploading, you're not connecting. Okay, that's a T-shirt, my friend. And that's what I'm going to be saying. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the comment. You made my day, Square One. I'm going to look for you and follow you on Instagram for joining me and giving me something, pointing me in the direction that I need to be going on that comment. Listen, have a great day, everybody. I'll see you around. I'll probably be back here tomorrow. Thanks again, Square One. Square One, send me a message on Instagram. I don't have anything to, I do have something to write with. Square One, I'm going to go find you and follow you right away. Square One Show. Thanks, my man. It's good to meet you today. Or I don't know if you're the man in the picture or the young lady. I can't tell if that's your daughter or significant other, girlfriend, whatever. But I don't know who you are exactly, but I'll find out. And, you know, friends, thanks again, buddy. Oh, okay, very good. Sounds good. Well, I'm Todd, and I will follow you here when I get off live. All right, I'm going to close it out. Close that Instagram first. Thank you. Take care.